Sibling enrolled his fraudulent enterprise at my residence. He won't create a disturbance, Dad claimed. I'm Ryan, 29, a software engineer who was deep in untangling a nightmare of outdated code when I glanced at my apartment's surveillance feed and saw my parents letting themselves inside. Normal midweek visit? I'd handed them a spare key strictly for crises, yet there was Dad wielding a tape measure like a weapon. From my phone, I watched him sizing up my walls with military precision. Mom scribbled notes on her screen, head cocked as if mentally rearranging furniture. Then my younger brother Jackson swaggered in behind them, owning the space he'd never paid for. He flashed a smug grin, dropped onto my leather couch, and propped his sneakers on my coffee table. "This is ideal," he declared. "Beats that rat hole I've been squatting in. Ryan's never around anyway, he's glued to the office." Mom nodded, still typing. "We'll shift the desk from the second bedroom, that'll be Jackson's." Dad measured door frames, hallways, everything. "Once Jackson's gear is here, Ryan won't kick up a fuss," he said. "Family first. We'll move while he's in San Francisco next month for that conference." I sat at my cubicle watching strangers blueprint a coup of my home in real time. A brittle laugh escaped. Coworkers shot me the "is he unhinged?" stare. My teammate Daniel glanced up. "Everything okay?" Maybe not, because I'd just recorded my own kin plotting to annex my condo. Instead of panic, I felt unburdened, because now I had them on tape, and I would make them rue every choice that led here. I'm a software architect, 30% stakeholder in a Series B startup. I earned solid money, very solid money. 4 months earlier, after Mom borrowed Grandpa's vintage Rolex, the sole heirloom from the grandfather who actually saw me, I installed a full-spectrum security grid. Cameras, motion triggers, the works. 3 weeks later, an Instagram post showed the watch gleaming on Jackson's wrist. He bragged to buddies he'd bought it with company earnings. His company was whichever MLM grift he was currently torching while Mom and Dad bankrolled his lifestyle. I'd been archiving everything since. Every conversation, every time they picked Jackson over me. Every snide remark that I should support family while he bled them dry. They'd handed me enough rope to hang them all. I fired off a text to Jackson. "Dinner this weekend?" Been ages. The 3 dots danced, vanished, reappeared. Group chat panic, no doubt. "Yeah, man, sounds good. Bring Mom and Dad, too. I'll cook at my place Saturday. 4 days to rig the snare." Jackson, that overconfident fool, strolled straight into it. Certain victory was already his. I grew up in Seattle, eldest son of George and Margaret Kowalski. Dad ran a thriving import firm. Mom managed their rental portfolio. We had money, a gorgeous Bellevue house, everything, except my parents' attention. The moment Jackson arrived, I was 8 and suddenly invisible. Investors in me evaporated the day he was born. I became the responsible one who didn't need help because he was advanced for his age. An 8-year-old learns self-reliance when nobody watches. Jackson got basketball camps. I was told sports were frivolous. He got a gleaming Audi at 16. I stocked shelves at Best Buy for a dented Civic. MIT acceptance? State schools more practical. Jackson barely graduated high school. They cheered like he'd cured leukemia. I still bought him a condo near UW. He dropped out after 1 quarter. I grinded through MIT, tech giants, then my own startup. 3 years ago, I purchased this downtown Seattle corner unit, floor-to-ceiling windows framing Elliott Bay. It was proof I didn't need their validation or cash. I gave them the spare key because some buried part of me still craved pride. That key would cost them everything. The day after the measuring fiasco, Jackson called. "Hey bro, need to ask something big." I smiled at the screen. "Bring everyone Saturday, I'll make that Korean barbecue you love." I spent 4 days prepping, not food. I compiled evidence. Bank records of every loan I'd extended Jackson, never repaid. Screenshots of 7 failed ventures my parents had funded. Statements showing I'd covered family vacations, dinners, gifts, while Jackson contributed 0 and took everything. The real work had been running for months. Emily, Jackson's latest girlfriend, messaged me on LinkedIn 12 weeks prior. Professional, polite, same last name, worth a shot. Jackson had been draining her credit cards to fund his newest crypto trading course and MLM scam. 3 cards maxed, $35,000, while he promised guaranteed returns. Returns meant bottle service and recruiting downline suckers. Emily had receipts and had been collaborating with me to document it all, because Jackson told her I was the trust fund kid who never worked, while he told our parents Emily's family was loaded and he was scouting deals. All lies. Emily was broke. Jackson had emptied her. Best part, He'd recently registered his LLC to my address without permission, probably to look legit to fresh marks. Every piece of mail, every legal filing, every trace of his fraud now pointed to my doorstep. That would prove useful. Saturday dawned flawless. I set the table with Wusthof knives and Benriner mandolins. My condo looked polished, prosperous mine. Folders waited in the office like loaded rifles. They arrived at 6. Mom brought dessert. Dad immediately eyed the walls he'd measured days earlier. Jackson strutted in grinning, already acting proprietary. Emily trailed him, catching my eye with a subtle nod. She was in. "Place looks sharp, Rye," Jackson said, sprawling on my couch exactly like on camera. "Keeping it tidy for once." "Special occasion," I replied, smiling. Mom beelined for the kitchen. "You need better knives, honey. These are dull. I like them sharp enough to slice through bullshit. Thanks, though." She blinked, unsure if I'd just insulted her. We ate. Jackson monopolized, boasting about his explosive new venture, investors lining up. Dad nodded like Jackson was the second coming of Bezos. Mom kept refilling his glass. Emily stayed silent. I set down chopsticks. "So, Jackson, how's apartment hunting?" He swapped glances with our parents. Dad jumped in smooth as ever. "Maybe you could help your brother. That spare bedroom's just gathering dust." "The office," Mom clarified. "You can work from headquarters like normal people. Jackson needs a stable address for his LLC." "Family helps family, Ryan," I sipped slowly. "Funny, because I could have sworn I saw you three here earlier this week measuring my walls, planning Jackson's furniture layout without asking, without telling me." Silence you could slice. Jackson's smirk faltered, Dad's jaw locked, Mom opened her mouth. "I have cameras," I continued. "Full coverage installed after Mom borrowed Grandpa's Rolex from my nightstand. Remember that, Jackson? The one you told friends you bought with company profits?" His face went scarlet. "You said those were just for the entrance." "I lied." I pulled out my phone, hit play. Dad's voice filled the room crystal clear. "Ryan won't make a scene. He'll understand family comes first. We just need to do it while he's in San Francisco next month." Emily shifted. Fury flashed across her face. She'd been sold a fantasy and was watching it implode. Dad blustered. "Ryan, you're taking this out of context," I cut in. "You broke into my home and staged a hostile takeover. That's the context." "We're your family," Mom shrilled. "How can you be so selfish? Your brother needs," I laughed. "Needs what?" "Jackson, remind me, what's the business this week?" "Crypto education." Emily's voice was ice. "It's a pyramid scheme." Every head swiveled. "He maxed 3 of my cards, $35,000 for club photos on Instagram. Your opportunity doesn't exist." Jackson went ghostly. "Emily, what the hell? Don't." Her tone could freeze lava. "Ryan reached out 2 months ago. We've been comparing receipts." Dad looked lost. Mom gaped. I smiled. "I'm talking about your golden child being a con artist. Emily, show them the statements." She slid a folder across the table like a prosecutor. "Nightclubs, designer tags, lavish dinners, 0 legitimate expenses." "Jackson told me we'd be millionaires by Christmas," Emily said. "Now I'm $35,000 in debt and he's living like a prince on my plastic." Jackson sputtered. "I can explain." "Explain this," I interrupted. "You registered your LLC to my address without consent." I pulled the public filings. "Kowalski Capital Ventures, LLC, your shell for fleecing people into your crypto course. You're under FTC investigation for deceptive trade. 3 civil fraud suits, and you hid it all behind my doorstep so Mom and Dad wouldn't see." Dad's face turned granite. "Jackson, is this true? It's all bullshit. Ryan's just jealous because..." "Because what?" I stood. "Because I built something real while you ran scams. Because I earned this condo and you thought you could squat. Because I paid for every family trip while you mooched." Mom was crying. "Ryan, please, he's your brother. He made mistakes." "Mistakes." I walked to the office, returned with more folders, dropped them like bricks. "Let's review what I'm forgiving. Jackson owes me $65,000 in unpaid loans over 6 years. You two borrowed another $40,000. He's draining Emily's cards, using my address for fraud, and you 3 planned to squat while I was out of state. Here's every transfer, text, email, recording, and Emily's attorney just filed civil fraud. The FTC is circling and using my address without permission. That's mail fraud when feds knock." Dad's voice cracked. "Son, you're overreacting. This is still..." "No, families don't burglarize each other. Families don't spend 30 years teaching one kid he's disposable while the other is infallible." I opened the door. "Out, keys on the table. Contact me again and I file restraining orders. Jackson, Emily's counsel is deposing me. I'll bury you." Jackson grabbed his jacket, face twisted. You'll regret this. Think you're untouchable in your tech bro tower? Better than a parasite on stolen credit. He stormed out. Emily paused, met my eyes. Thank you. I nodded. She'd get her money. Parents shuffled out, mom sobbing, dad wearing the controlled rage I knew from childhood. You'll regret this, he hissed. When you're alone and need family, we won't be there. Good, I said. I've been alone my whole life. Door locked. City lights shimmered across the bay, my refuge. Daniel texted as I shut down the office. How'd it go? Burned every bridge. Feels incredible. Drinks tomorrow. Hell yes. Monday, 17 frantic voicemails from mom. Blocked her dad, Jackson. Silence tasted like freedom. Emily called. Jackson served, blowing up her phone. Don't engage. Evidence speaks. She thanked me again for listening when no one else would. Next week exploded productively. Jackson had juggled 3 addresses. Mine, Emily's, a Tacoma PO box. FTC had been building a civil case. My docs plus Emily's triggered DOJ criminal probe for wire mail fraud. Feds raided his apartment Wednesday, fake testimonials, pirated courseware, victim ledgers. News headline, local man charged in crypto education fraud. Mugshot was peak Jackson. Daniel forwarded the article. Your brother, not anymore. Jackson's Insta went from flexing to blackout. Victims surfaced, 40 suckers paid $1,800 each for repackaged YouTube clips. Lawsuits snowballed. Parents pivoted, sent Uncle Richard, Dad's brother, the only fair one. Coffee Friday. Your father begged me to intervene. I told him he's an idiot. I watched them screw you for decades. Jackson's been a spoiled leech since diapers. Emily asked me to testify in her suit. I agreed instantly. Kid needs consequences. Parents need to learn money can't fix this. He slid his attorney's card. Restraining orders, asset protection, use it. Don't thank me, he added. Just don't let them back in. You're better off. Jackson's arraignment Monday. Cheap suit, bargain bin lawyer, parents looking broken in the gallery. Bond $45,000. Dad collateralized the house. Jackson glared at Emily like she orchestrated his fall. Daniel over beers. Your family's imploding. Jackson facing Fed time. What now? Nothing changes. They were never part of my life. Phone buzzed, unknown number. Mom via Dad's phone. Jackson might go to prison. You're the only one who can hire a real lawyer. Please, showed Daniel. Deleted, blocked. 3 weeks later, Emily settled civilly. Full $35,000. Jackson tried pinning everything on me in deposition. Nobody bought it. My paper trail was ironclad. Startup closed a Fortune 500 deal. My equity now retire at 40 money. Daniel and I upgraded offices, hired 3 devs. Life objectively leveled up. 6 months later, I dated Olivia, Amazon PM from a functional family, baffled by my backstory. She slotted in effortlessly. Jackson's trial loomed November, wire fraud, deceptive practices, identity theft. Plea offers rejected, prosecutors wanted a scalp. He bunked with parents, they remortgaged, sold rentals. I felt nothing. Wednesday code review, email, subject we need to talk, no sender. Dad via work account. Ryan, I know you don't want contact, but you must see what you've done. Jackson faces 3 to 5 years. Only way out is $190K restitution. We're broke, house leveraged, assets gone, retirement drained. Your mother's health failing, community shuns us. I raised you to stand by family. Where's that boy? Jackson erred but has paid. He's trying to rebuild. No one will hire him with charges. Uncle says, except you're gone. I can't. Call me. Fix this. Forwarded to Uncle Richard, still manipulating. Don't bite. Desperate. Jackson's doing time. They want a scapegoat. No reply. Second email from Jackson. Dad wrote, you ignored. Classic. You sit in your palace acting superior while we crumble. Can't get work, can't leave state, living like a teenager. You leaked my business to the world. Emily got paid. FTC happy. Everyone wins but me. You have money, success, girlfriend who doesn't know the real you. You murdered the life I could have had, turned everyone against me, ended my relationship. For what? Jealousy. Mom and Dad loved me more. Congrats, you won. But one day you'll realize success means nothing without family. You picked revenge over blood. I know your schedule, your perfect life. Don't think cameras make you safe. Karma's coming. Forwarded to attorney. Threat gives us restraining order. Combined with trespass video and harassment pattern, filing tomorrow. Temporary in 72 HRS, hearing in 2 weeks. Logged every ping, blocked call, DM. Temporary order served, 500 FT from home work, no contact. Violation equals arrest. Mom tried once more via work email. You're destroying us over an email. We've lost everything. Jackson suffered enough. I'm your mother. Attorney shut it down, harassment charges threatened. Full hearing 2 weeks later, Jackson no-showed, Fed counsel's advice. Judge made order permanent. Building security flagged his photo, police on speed dial. 3 weeks later, Daniel called late. Get home, Jackson's in your lobby. Security had phoned him when I didn't pick up. Been here 40 min, says family emergency, won't leave. Raced home, called security from garage. Andrew, police en route. He's yelling he'll wait all night. Over speaker, Jackson's voice. Just 5 minutes accident, emergency. Andrew stone cold. Mr. Kowalski confirmed no emergency. You're violating a court order. Jackson switched to victim. He can't erase me. Then Venom. Tell Ryan his tech bro life won't last. People who torch bridges end alone. I'm not finished. Cops arrived, cuffed him after he refused to leave. Incident report filed, Andrew. He seemed unhinged, stay vigilant. Olivia came straight over. You okay? Pissed, not scared? She hugged me. What now? Violation report. He just guaranteed jail time. That night, with someone who chose to be there, no strings, no guilt, I knew cutting them out was the sanest choice I'd ever made. Jackson might land in prison just for stepping foot in my building. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.